Bizarre Brain Comics. Okay, let's try this again. Hello, my comic book friends, and welcome to Bizarre Brain Comics. I'm Gary, your host. This is where I like to take a look at some older comics, talk a little bit about the characters and creators, and examine the stories and the art. Well, this time, we're going to have a look at some fistful of trade paperbacks, underground, alternative, indie publications, and some of them are downright naughty. So, but I won't show the naughty stuff. But before we get into that, remember, holidays are coming up. I have two books available. Bizarre Brain Comics Bizarre Brain Comics Anthology. Bizarre Brain Comics presents Heroes. Two funny books. This one has some humor and a little bit of adventure. This is more mainstream with some superheroes, a little bit of horror and other stuff. Here's the back illustration on the back cover for that one. $7.99 each online from get them on Amazon, other online outlets. Just Google the titles, and they'll come up with links to various booksellers. And also for good time for the holidays. You see, if you watch my videos, you see I do a variety of these little character cards, mostly in conjunction with whatever I am talking about. And I can do one for you. Caricatures. Don't even have to be this size. Can be larger size. Some original drawings. Pets, stuff like that. If you're interested, please contact me in the comments down below. Now let's get started with this. From the pages of 8 Ball. This is from 1995, graphic album actually, by Pussy by Daniel Close. Back then he had an ongoing anthology title, all produced by him, Daniel Close, of various stories and various characters. This is, of course, is young Dan Pusey. He was a fanboy who became an established, in the story, became an established comic book artist through his whole life, and it's mostly kind of satirizing comic books and the creators and the fans as well. And then you see the back illustration. And of course, a real fanboy. He has some really nice art style. Very an exclusive, very personal type. What am I trying to say? It doesn't matter. Stylized. It's very individually stylized. And he could do a lot of caricature work himself sometimes, because sometimes his characters look like certain real people, actors and the like. And he had, that's titled 8 Ball, and a lot of his stuff was then collected into graphic novels, and he's done a lot of graphic novels. And I haven't gotten any new stuff from him in probably 20-25 years, maybe more. And he did Ghost World and various other graphic novels. Ghost World, of course, was then I can't pronounce the name, made into a movie, the movie Ghost World, which starred a very young Scarlett Johansson and Thora Birch, and had Steve Buscemi in it. And then we have also from, I think this was '89, Howard Cruz's Wendell Comics #1. This is, I liked Howard Cruz. He is gone now, but he did a lot of stuff, underground stuff, starting in the '70s. Very stylized, cartoonish style, very pleasing style for underground comics. And he was a gay man, and his stuff was primarily about young gay men, and sometimes the stuff got pretty naughty, but most of it isn't that naughty. Also by Howard Cruz. Here's Dancing Naked with the Angels. That's Naked. Dancing Naked with the Angels. Has a nice cover painting there, and it's more of the same. Various characters. Make sure I got something that's not. Oh, can't show that one. Can't show that one. Can't show that one. This one's not too naughty. Good example of his work. Some of the stuff he did in there. In the back cover. And then, still keeping with Howard Cruz, this is done as a graphic novel. Stuck Rubber Baby. Stuck Rubber Baby. And this is from, what, 95, I think it was? Maybe even earlier. What year did I see? Yeah, 1995. And still, but it's so packed because he has so many panels and so much dialogue in it. So he did a lot of work to produce this one. And this is just kind of like a biography of his character in this story. And that's really nice. Then here we have, I think this was from '89, from Kitchen Sink Press, All American Hippie Comics. Uncle Sam watering the weed, and this is Victory Garden. And the cover illustration was from '79, but I think it was cover used on the Hippie Comics, done by John Pound. John Pound. He doesn't. I think that's the only thing that he did that's in here. But he's probably he did a lot of his own underground comics in the '70s and '80s, and but he's probably best known for being one of the artists who worked on the Garbage Pail Kids stickers and trading cards. And this has a lot of just undergroundy stuff by various artists. Some by Howard Cruz, Lee Mars. Who were some of the others? Gives you an idea. Dope Comics, and a lot of stuff that is fairly naughty. Some stuff that's not. And most of this material, anthology in here, was from the '70s. Then we have Dial H for Hembeck, number 7. I think this was 1982, and it's independent. It's not exactly underground. It's not naughty either. I've covered Fred Hembeck here before, and he is also he does, of course, parody stuff of mainstream comics. Does some stuff of his own, semi-autobiographical, making fun of himself. And he did some of these neat things where he would recreate some classic covers. I can do classic covers if you want, in my own style or whatever. And everyone knows Fred Hembeck, and of course he's done considerable work for both Marvel and DC Comics. And then here we go, Baby, You're Really Something, from Arrow's Comics. This is it's not exactly a comic book. This is some of the illustration work of Frank Frazetta from magazine and paperback illustrations from the '50s. This is before he became really prominent in the '60s for his cover paintings. That was in the '60s, and some really beautiful stuff. And this is the kind of stuff that you don't normally see in the art books, reprinting his most of his paintings. And here, remember Penthouse magazine, which doesn't exist anymore? Well, in the '90s they did some comics. Here is a Xmas special issue. Penthouse Comics. Nice cover illustration there. And here in the center, where is it? Now it was right there before. Now I can't find it. But this is comics of some naughty stuff, but it's done by primarily mainstream artists and writers with a lot of naughty stuff involved in it. And of course, it's all done with, I can't show that page, but I can show this page, with tongue placed firmly in cheek, and not necessarily your own cheek. So very, very mainstream. And even here, where's that one? Like this lovely, yeah, that's one. It's some really, really nice illustration on this. And this is done by Dan Barry. He's a comic strip artist. Always get Dan and Steve Barry mixed up because they're brothers. One did Flash Gordon and one did the Phantom. And one also did Tarzan. I can't remember which is which. The style is very similar. And it also has some work here featuring illustrations by Jim Steranko. And then we finish up with this one, another one that's from Penthouse. Just the Best Got Better. Penthouse Max, first issue. I never got too many of these books at the time. I wish I had. Hurricane. And see, beautiful cover art. Interior art is just as wonderful, but this one is totally naughty, and there's very little I can actually show. And again, this particular issue is all that. While the other one was an anthology, this is all one story. If I cover that up, you can probably see some of the nice artwork here. And it's all, and here's some other cover type illustrations. And but these feature superheroes. But again, tongue planted firmly in cheek. So that is all I had to share with you this time around. I want to thank you for joining me. Please like, share, subscribe, leave your comments down below, and let me know what you think of any or all of these books. And do remember, comics are art.